Hey everybody, this is Vince Gilligan, creator of Breaking Bad.
Bryan Cranston, play Walt.
Aaron Paul played Jesse.
Peter Gould, I wrote this one.
Michael Slovis, director of photography.
And here we are in the longest single take teaser we've ever done.
Oh, really?
Yes, I mean this whole shot, except for the cut at the very end, is one take. Although in a sense it's not. Peter, you want to talk about that?
Well, I want to first give credit to the actors because DJ, these guys and Matt did just an incredible job with the scene and sustained it through a whole long take. This is like a 4 or 5 page scene. And one of the reasons it worked so well is that Terry McDonough, who's unfortunately not here, and Michael Slovis decided to shoot the coverage first. We knew we wanted to do this as one long take, but we also knew that there had to be some coverage just to protect ourselves. So they shot the coverage first, and that sort of acted as a rehearsal period for this. And by the time we got across the street to shoot this, these guys were really on fire.
Yeah.
And what Vince was just referring to, though, is that when we looked at it, through no fault of the cast, we found that we had maybe overwritten the scene a little bit. Or that it was a little bit longer than we wanted it to be. And so Vince and Skip McDonald, who cut this episode and did, I think, a spectacular job, came up with this idea of dropping out little pieces of the scene using the moments when people wipe through. And so some of these wipes, when you see someone wipe by in the foreground, some of them actually conceal a little, and I think that
was one.
That might have been one of them right there.
Wow.
Can see a little bit of time and maybe a couple of lines of dialogue that get dropped out.
Skip really did an amazing job. Skip is really, really talented, and he did a lot of this stuff on the Avid, the computer editing system that we use. And once you get this stuff pointed out to you, then you'll notice it from then on. There's a little cut right there, but hopefully this won't ruin it for anybody.
The bicyclist in the background is the big problem.
Yeah,
right
he
there.
disappears.
There was a lot of little things done there.
Yeah,
But
We also wanted this to have an early morning look, I remember. And what you can't see is a whole bank of lights that's off to the left-hand side creating the sunlight because sunrise and early morning does not last very long. We had to make it last for the entire day that we were shooting the scene.
wow, nicely done. And then, and Michael, when you talk about giant lights, you have giant trucks with giant generators built into them that power those lights, right? So it's a real
In
production.
fact, we had so many lights for this thing, I think we had to have additional generators just because of the amount of light that we knew we were going to have to override the daylight. This is just not simple daylight right here.
So well done, and yet so. What Michael does, what any pro does, with our actors, Bryan and Aaron sitting here, the rest of our cast, people who really know what they're doing, they make it look easy. Like, for instance, you're looking at the ground here, you're only seeing one set of shadows like you would, but I mean, you really do have the sun up in the sky, and you have these giant lights, and hiding multiple shadows is a real hard thing to do. You really got to know what you're doing.
Absolutely, and credit to the electric department on that. And sometimes we had to reverse the direction that the sun would be coming. If you're shooting over one person, but the sun happens to be behind your camera, you have to block out the sun and then create a new sun from the other direction to keep everything consistent.
Jesus, a lot of work. There's an introduction of Saul Goodman there, the wonderful Bob Odenkirk who's coming up. And DJ Qualt did a great job in this. And Matt Jones, obviously. Matt here. We love Matt. He's been in many other episodes. Wonderful young actor.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Both these guys are great.
Albuquerque police, you're under arrest. Get on the ground. Get on your stomach.
And, it creates kind of a weird suspense when you hold on a shot that long.
Yeah.
And so the cut at the end makes a big statement, and I was just so pleased with how this came off, and what a beautiful job Terry did with it.
Terry did a great job. Wonderful English director, Englishman, real character, real brilliant director. Started off as a camera operator, I think.
And we were his first American TV show.
That's right. He's a big Bruckheimer guy now, I think. Yeah.
I love it.
I love this. I love the way this is done.
Yeah.
I love the background.
Yeah, that's San Francisco.
It is. It's stock we bought from some TV show from the early '80s or something.
Yeah.
And Michael, talk about the table here.
Oh, the green of the table.
Oh, was it green? Oh, we had, because all of this stuff was in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And the green was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, just talk about how you had a hard time making it imperfect because it's not your nature.
Well, this was a great deal of fun because it's really not in the nature of this crew to make such cheap looking commercials, but we had a great deal of fun with it.
I love the bad matte lines, the bad chroma key. You guys had a hard time making it so bad. You guys, it's your default to make it perfect. Which thank
I do
goodness
remember. I do remember also Bob doing things intentionally incorrect so that there would be material for the DVD later on.
He sort of
Come back here, do this again. And when it was,
it was ambiguous when he was in character. You know, he was kind of directing the camera guy. Camera guy, stay with me over here.
do you remember that, Peter? It was hysterical.
Absolutely, yeah.
The crew's looking around at each other. What? Keep us here longer for this intentionally?
like the ShamWow guy.
Exactly.
Here, yeah. And Aaron, those are all fake tattoos. Do you have any?
Oh no, those are definitely fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that back tattoo is priceless. Look at that skull.
So how long does it take to put all those tattoos on?
Well, I rarely put on the back piece or the chest piece because you don't really see me topless that often. But the piece on my arm, it's down to like a science. It takes about now, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah, really quick.
Good job. Kristen Ritter, by the way, such a sweet young lady, and she's as cute as she can be. And man, she did a good job this season.
Oh, she's so great.
And this is a really important scene because it's the first time we find out that Jane has a problem.
Yeah,
yes.
She's recovering.
Yeah.
Her chip.
Ouch.
She's did you enjoy working with her, Aaron?
I did, yeah. She's fantastic. And this right here, I think kind of, internally terrifies Jesse a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Jesse, as we all know, has his own problem.
Yeah, that's true. Well, a little Sid and Nancy thing happening here toward the end of the season. Yeah.
I respect that.
But she's a cutie, and Kristen, she did a great job.
She's a terrific actor.
Yeah.
She's on, I don't know what she's on now. I know I see her on Gap billboards all over the west side of LA.
Yeah, well, and Banana Republic, she's like their new, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like their new girl. But she's just got a new show for Stars.
Oh, wait a minute, that's right.
About suicide.
Oh, man.
Oh, a comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's a family show. But no, she's wonderful. And she usually just does comedic stuff. She's hilarious, but this is her first, really dramatic piece.
She's not related to John Ritter, is she?
I don't believe
Okay.
so, no.
All right. There's a lot of Ritters.
No.
The Ritter fan we use for the wind machine is
There you
called a
go.
Ritter.
Yeah.
Little.
There's a time lapse.
There's one of those time lapses done with a still photographic camera.
He's done nothing but apologize.
I think Anna looks real nice in this scene. Oh, she always does. I think she looks real pretty in this scene. Is there Michael Slovis? Is there a difference in lighting actors and actresses sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a great example right there. We really try to take care of our leading actresses' face and make them look as attractive as possible, and quite the contrary with our actors.
Yeah.
So.
To hell with them, huh?
I don't care. You have to allocate your time properly when you're shooting television. So obviously, Anna, we take care of, and
But not in any way.
The reverse is what it is.
Yes, and not in any way to. And by that I didn't mean not like she needs extra help. She's beautiful. Anna Gunn.
No, not at all. But there are things that
Betsy,
we do, and also it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Faces are different. It takes different lighting. It takes different photographic skills to photograph them in different ways and keep everybody looking, even if you don't want them looking attractive, keep them looking unattractive in an attractive kind of a way. I don't know how to better put that.
It makes sense. Well, each scene calls for specific lighting based on the moods and the emotions and the story being told too, I would imagine.
that is number one for us for this, which is what the joy of shooting the show is really we're encouraged to do by you and AMC as well, to be expressive in our photography and lighting. It's not something that you get a chance to do very often in broadcast television. So this is just a joy for us.
I'm glad. You guys, you and your crew are just the best. Betsy is Marie, played by Betsy here. I love this scene too. This is shot in a real house. Bryan, you're saying earlier in one of our previous one of these commentaries how most of the time we're shooting what looks like a house is really a soundstage, but this is an actual house we were in.
It's in the northeastern heights. You saw it at the door there, where that's a real backdrop of the Sandia Mountains.
Yeah.
In Albuquerque, and this is our hosts Fred and June own this beautiful house, so we shoot indoors and outdoors there.
Which is a great advantage. I don't know if you mentioned it before, Bryan, but Fred is in a wheelchair, and he designed the house for himself. The hallways are a little bit wider. The doors are all a little bit wider, and it makes our shooting there much, much, much easier.
Hey, that's my name.
Hey, there you are.
So it makes it easier because the camera equipment's so big, right, Michael? It's just
absolutely the amount of people that go in and out, Vince, and the size of the equipment that comes in and out. It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
and it's a beautiful home to boot.
It is a beautiful, and they're very nice people.
So we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
Lousy. Montezuma's Revenge. Big.
I like to point out how crazy Marie is, because look, there's a pot with some flowers in it, and there's a painting of the same pot with the flowers in it.
Look at that.
And she's
pot.
Whatever.
What kind of writer are you, man?
It's a vase. It's a vase.
Some kind of pot or a bucket or whatever you call those
bucket
things.
with the splashy liquid and flowers.
I'm very proud of this scene. Let me tell you.
I could say that.
This is a great scene. Peter did a great job in this. This is all the whole episode, obviously, but I love this. This is one of my favorite scenes of the season.
I was so excited about this one because I got to write the one season one between these two characters, the cigar scene, which was all about drugs and what's legal. And here we get these two guys, and they're in such a different place.
Yeah,
and I love what Michael did here in the foreground.
He's out getting an evidence bag.
You mean throwing the focus?
Yes, it's the focus, but also it's sort of the lack of fill on Hank is so moody.
And that was a mistake, I think, Michael, wasn't it? You meant to light him.
Yeah.
So now that's what.
Isn't this Bryan slipping?
I'm under
Michael?
strict orders from Bryan not to light Hank. So there you go.
See, there's more fill on me in the foreground here.
But look, there's that little green kick there.
Yeah, it's
little green kick.
Bryan slips Michael an extra 20 around it. Yeah. Don't light anyone else but me.
Make me look pretty. Put a little Vaseline on that lens, man. My face already looks like a Shar-Pei dog. All the wrinkles and lines on it.
No.
You're a beautiful man.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of bald heads in this show, though.
That's true.
What you might call an
It is true, though, that we take our lighting cues in the lighting department. We take our cues from the material and from the performances, and we really try to enhance or support what's going on in the scene.
They do a great job.
What if I told you we do?
I love this turn here. This is good.
Bryan does an amazing impression of Dean Norris.
Does he? Do it.
Oh my God, it's brilliant.
Come on! Oh, what's going on? Come on! What the F?
I love you, Dean.
Dean did a great job here. Dean is, he is a character.
Oh, man.
I also think it was a great choice here on Terry's part to keep the focus on Bryan in the foreground.
Mm-hmm. Always a smart move. The focus on me.
I mean, if you look at Terry's the episodes, this one and 203, which we did together, that's one of the things he does. He always thinks about where the focus is, and he makes some really unusual choices that I just find fascinating.
That's true. Dean Norris was in, I had to be reminded of this. The first movie I ever wrote that got made was a little something called Wilder Napalm, and fun little movie that is very hard to find. But Dean was in it, and he showed up at the beginning of one season wearing his Wilder Napalm crew shirt.
Oh, no
I got
kidding.
a kick out of that. That was neat.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And this is back to the sound stage. This is a set.
Remember that money machine just was not working?
It didn't work properly, yeah.
What did it didn't count right or didn't work
It
at
would
all?
stop.
It would stop. It'd get jammed because we're using
Smack
fake
it.
bills. And,
Oh,
Yeah, they're
right.
not the same thickness as real currency.
All right.
Running 24 hours a day. Not yours, I take it?
You got 10, 20, 30, 40 for 5 each.
3 pounds should be 48 each. Who's short?
Okay, don't freeze.
This is
all right? We
where Walt is always doing the calculations and is always coming up short.
He's probably still in the
Yes.
Come on.
Wake him up. And sleep after we're paid.
He's such a terrible boss.
Who? Walt?
Walt, yes.
What are you talking about? I patterned my
totally
boss,
agree.
my bossness after our boss, Vince Gilligan.
There you go.
Is he a terrible boss?
There you have it.
Coming up is what is just I just love. But now here's Jesse trying to please Walt and be a hard ass.
Yeah.
And I just love this
in
moment.
his beautiful
funny bit.
jacket.
I love the way you play this, Aaron. This look you give, this
Yeah, like-
smirk. There's a little bit of Barney Fife here. There's a little bit of, but it's also it's De Niro in the Midnight Run. A little bit coming up here.
Cover for him, bitch. I ask you a straight up question. I expect a straight up answer.
Yeah.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business. Yeah. No, that's a great. I love it. What do you guys usually do when you're talking on the phone? Does someone read lines off camera to you, or how's it? I mean, right here there was no other script.
There's no lines, but now we've been like Bryan will be on the other end on another phone.
They'll actually call the phone. It's a real
Yeah.
working phone, and you'll dial and call it, and you can hear.
Sweet. And so where are you? You're in Vegas or something?
Yeah, I can be wherever you want to be. And it's usually Helen Caldwell, our script supervisor, is on the other end. But
Yeah.
this is terrific.
Great shot. And shot in an actual real elevator, which makes it, and Michael can speak to this, insanely hard to shoot in, right, Michael?
Ridiculously difficult.
Yeah.
How'd you get that low shot, Michael? Was that in a real elevator, too? How'd that work?
That was in the elevator. That was in the elevator that takes us up to this floor in our set, the building that we use downtown. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But where'd you put the camera? Were you shooting into a mirror? Were you looking straight up? I mean, how did that work?
No, Vince, but we're going to soon.
split
I promise.
diopter?
No, we just put the camera on the floor. Literally, we put it with a wide lens on the floor, looking straight up.
Damn.
I love what Dean does here.
Office, man. See what you bozos been up to lately.
The bravado.
Yeah, the fake. Oh, look on this, the wedding photo.
Yeah.
Look on the desk here. Dressed like Boss Hogg. I love that. That's in the. You can see that in one of the
webisodes.
the webisodes.
Yeah.
He's dressed like that in one of the webisodes. It
Such a
should be on the
great-
disc that you got here.
Such a great webisode.
That's a good one. Those webisodes are fun. You guys did a great job with those. And Aaron, you were going to be in it too, but you had the flu that day.
I had full on pneumonia.
Yeah, or it was you had pneumonia. That's right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
See if they come across that famous blue meth of yours. Sure enough, last night,
Steven's good in the scene.
Himself's an honest-to-God dealer.
Steven Quezada.
cruising over and saying hello.
He's a local Albuquerque resident. He's also a stand-up comic.
Plays at the Chemo Theater down on Central Avenue there, old Route 66, right in the heart of Albuquerque. I love this scene.
This is the
thought we were
intro
gonna
of
hang out.
Saul. It's
I
so,
thought we
so
were gonna
funny.
hang out.
Yeah.
I like people who don't abuse the Constitution.
This is our conference room at the studio.
Oh, right. This is the room. We've used this several times, and we'll use it several more times in season 3, and we repaint it between every time we use it.
You doing talking to my client without me present?
But this is where we use where we have our production meetings.
Which is which?
And here he is.
There's the man.
First appearance.
First appearance by Mr. Bob Odenkirk, who is a pleasure to work with, and we are
He's brilliant.
lucky to have him. He is brilliant. He's great. Peter, I'm speaking for Peter, and I'm certainly speaking for myself. I used to love watching Bob and David Cross, his partner on Mr. Show, the HBO show. That's where I got to know him. And
He says, go get a juice box.
juice box.
Because DJ looks like he's 12. Come on.
You know, Odenkirk wrote for SNL for years, but he wrote that classic "Man Down by the River," living in the van
He
down by the
did.
river.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
He
wrote
did.
that.
Did you read
That was
that
his.
book?
Wow.
Did you read that book? There's a great book. It's called and the kicker is, and it's interviews with famous comedy writers and comedians and whatnot. And Bob's interviewed in it, and it's a really good interview. Yeah, and he recreated that character for Chris Farley
Yeah,
when they were with Second City or something like that in Chicago.
so great.
I love this speech here.
This scene is very unusual for our show. In fact, the Saul scenes in general are, because he gets these giant blocks
Yeah.
of uninterrupted dialogue.
Because he's the only actor who can do them.
It's just
Yeah,
a
that's
wall. It's just a
exactly.
wall of words.
We obviously need a guest star to come in and do this demanding dialogue pieces.
Well, it's interesting because usually, in all seriousness, what's important in our scenes is usually what's in between the dialogue, and it's what you guys do so beautifully, and the musicality of how you give it back and forth. But he's kind of just this wall of words.
Yeah, that's true. You look very closely. I think his I can't tell right in this episode, but if his cufflinks are the scales of justice. I know he's got the little scales of justice lapel pin on.
If anything, his clothes get wilder and wilder.
Yeah, they do.
Each appearance.
Matt Jones is such a great foil for him here because he's such a great kind of straight man here.
That's a joke, Brandon. Lighten up.
So, Aaron, you and Matt have become pretty good friends.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine now. He's hilarious.
He's a very talented young
He's
man.
a stand-up as well, though. He's just stand-up.
Yeah, he does a lot of improv stuff
comedy.
over at UCB, and Peter and I went to one of his shows. We went to separate showings, but it was called the
Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah, and it was
really funny.
He's brilliant.
This is the main hallway of our production offices in Q Studios there.
Yeah.
So all those offices and bathroom, and that's for the crew.
That's right.
Yeah, this is where we work.
And you know what? It works.
It totally works.
So save the money here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listening to these commentaries, you would think we shot all of every single episode at the studio.
At the production.
Yeah.
I know, it feels that way. But the truth is, we're out way more often than we're in.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
This show probably is out on location more than probably anything else in the air right now that I can think of. And it's tough. It's expensive,
tough.
especially on our budget, and tough on the crew, and tough on Michael and his guys always out there. And we appreciate all the hard work you guys do because it's like here, it's just loud in some strip mall somewhere in Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a beautiful car.
You want your exponential growth, guys are going to get busted. Simple as that.
Michael, you want to talk about how paint and the production designer help so much with painting certain walls, making things look helping you with your light, you having input into what color things are, stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. They are an integral part to the look of the show, probably the most important factor in what the show is going to look like. And I wanted to actually mention that earlier when we were in Jesse's apartment, how beautiful that set was. And indeed, it actually helps every aspect of production when things are painted well and constructed properly, because when we were in that apartment, we could really move very quickly, right, guys? I mean, when we were shooting there, we would just really, really get a lot of work done in a very short amount of time because it was such an easy place to work.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be a lot of thought, right, Michael, going into, you, the production designer in season 2, or the wonderful Rob Wilson King, our production designer, and he's talking to you and you're talking to him about what color, because you don't want light bouncing around willy-nilly, correct? You need to control the light, so you don't want white walls everywhere because then the light's bouncing around everywhere. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We work together very, very closely with the production designer, with the painting department, with the set dressers, with everybody in the art department works totally in sync with us.
It's a real group effort. It's really. I love this little set. This is actually you never. I don't think we've been out in this lobby since this episode, but it does exist. It's built onto the interior set. I love this little kid digging for gold here in his nose.
Exactly.
we
Two-handed.
Did you tell him to do that?
No, he just did it.
Just gets him one.
That's that's what I'm doing
Damn
when nobody's
kids.
looking.
Yeah.
I like the D.B. Cooper reference. Fantastic.
Call the FBI and tell them I found D.B. Cooper.
All the kids watching are like, who?
They'll love that.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing like a D.B. Cooper reference to get the kiddies excited.
38-year-old
Like, what?
skyjacking. Yeah.
That old chestnut.
Oh, you're wearing the Isotopes hat.
Isotopes.
You threw out a ball for them one time.
Yeah, this is the AAA affiliate of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they play in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the Isotopes were actually named the Isotopes from the Simpsons episode in Springfield. That was the Homer's softball team, the Isotopes. Yeah, the Springfield Isotopes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they actually named the real Isotopes after that.
Did not know that.
As an homage to the Simpsons.
Well, New Mexico is a very interesting state, obviously a beautiful state filled with wonderful people. We love it. It's our adopted home for our show. And the Isotopes is obviously apt because the atomic bomb was invented in the state of New Mexico up in Los Alamos back in the 40s. And interesting thing I heard about New Mexico is it has more PhDs per capita than any other state because you have Sandia National Laboratory and you have Los Alamos National Laboratory.
Right.
So there's a lot of brilliant people from all over the world congregated there doing high-tech, cutting-edge research. And yet in the state of New Mexico, there's more sheep than there are people. Mm-hmm. It's a very underpopulated state for its landmass.
After some mystery man.
Which makes you very happy, though.
Yes, exactly.
Sheep count.
Oh, yeah, the sheep count is big for me. It's very important.
Brandon may have some information.
I think it's important to actually note that the truth is that we went to New Mexico to shoot this show, and it was quite honestly because of economics.
That's true.
There's a 25% rebate program from the state to the production company, in this case Sony Television. And that enabled us to have a budget that would put the show on the air for AMC.
That's true.
And that's why we're there. The happy accident that I think we found is that Albuquerque and New Mexico have become an integral part to the story.
Absolutely.
They've become a legitimate character to the story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
it's a shame California can't have a similar... It's a shame. That's what they call runaway production, and all the so many wonderful, talented crew people and actors and folks living here in California. But it's there's certain economies of scale or economies of I'm probably using economic terms wrong because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But people go where they can get the most bang for their buck, and unfortunately that's there's this diaspora of production leaving Southern California and going to all the other 50 states right now.
But guys, the other happy accident is the support that we get in Albuquerque. I mean, they are just wonderful to us here. They really give us a lot of support and a lot of help.
Fun ones. Yeah, the guy who got his head smushed used to be a client of mine. His wife killed him.
It's so true. It's a wonderful city and a state to work in. They're great.
The mayor loves you, right, Brian?
Yet I'm singing like a canary.
well, celebrating at the International Balloon Festival. We went up with the mayor this last year, and
the first balloon up.
3 days later, he promptly lost the election. So now we have a new mayor coming in. I blame myself for that
I did too,
association. Actually, that's true. And so
he's a very nice man, though.
very nice.
I think he should.
Martin Chavez,
but I'm sure the new guy's good too.
R.J. Barry is coming in,
All right.
so he'll be
friends
equally
with-
supportive.
Make friends with him now.
Yeah.
I hope he likes film, and I hope he likes shows about meth.
Yeah. Who wouldn't?
What's not to love?
I think we should also talk about the practical applications. So when we shoot scenes like this, we have to have a base camp set up close by so that we can transport the actors, but also the props and everything. And so we have to rent a parking lot space from someone. Well, we usually, because we shoot Monday through Friday, we usually go to to a church to find out, because they're pretty much empty during the weeks. And so we went to one church the first year, and then they find out shall we say, the depth and breadth of our show and what it deals with.
Yes.
And a church says, no more. No, we don't want this kind of show at on our lot.
All right.
And so we had to go to another one. We have been through now our fourth church, for finding parking lots. Yeah. And it's like,
what about the Church of Satan?
Church of Satan is next.
Is there one in Albuquerque?
Could you guys talk about the evening that you shot this?
Oh, this is definitely the coldest.
Look at that!
Nights.
How beautiful that is, Michael. Oh,
wow. That was a magic hour shot. We sat around waiting for that exact moment so that everything would fall into place. Everybody Bryan, like 45 minutes, right? 40 minutes, just waiting.
Yeah.
And you had the cameras up on scissor lifts, and they were very, very high, and it was windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cold.
It was very cold. I think with the wind chill factor, it brought it down into the teens, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? It was that cold?
And it was windy. And so all these shots were not only cold, but gusts of sand were blowing into our eyes and other orifices. And it was just brutal. Of course, on Bob, he had the worst of it because he had to be on his knees, handcuffed, and have this running monologue.
Yeah. And in the beginning, he had to speak Spanish, and he had no idea how to speak Spanish, but he learned it, and he did an amazing job.
Yeah, I remember after each take, you guys clearing your mouths, nose, and eyes.
Oh, and just
sand.
running directly right inside of the Winnebago or warming van.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was having an Irish coffee in my ski chalet while you guys were shooting this.
Yeah, it was tough because as soon as they yelled cut, we'd run into that van and just like start. we were so cold. We were standing out there. I was trying not to shiver, right? It was like my gun's hanging out there, and I'm like, oh.
It sounds unpleasant.
It was unpleasant.
I love it. I love this.
Probably the most unpleasant shooting day we've had.
I'm glad I was not there.
But it's also right outside the gate of the studio. It's right across the street. There's a big empty field, and where there's construction going on, and that pit right there is a drainage ditch for the 40,000 houses that are going to go into there at some later date.
This whole area is so beautiful now. It's going to look like Valencia, California in about 5 years. It's just going to be, which is nothing wrong with Valencia, but I mean, just houses upon houses.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
You don't think? Maybe.
Well, they stalled the production of it. I mean, the economic situation is tough everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And notice we're using the same masks as season one.
Season one,
which was one of my previous episodes, the last episode of season one.
When we're stealing the methylamine.
That's right.
Yeah. So we had those silly little balls on top.
That's right.
Yeah, and they had those handmade for us.
That's right. Kathleen DeToro and her wonderful crew handmade those for you.
And they're color coded.
And I can picture them in the Smithsonian in about 20 years. What do you think?
Yeah.
Along with the RV. How cool would that be, though, seriously?
Oh, my God. When I read this scene, I got so excited. It's just him asking for put the dollar in my pocket, put the dollar in my pocket.
It makes us legally a client, and then we have client-lawyer privileges.
And then Jesse's like, I only got a $5.
Yeah. Give it the dollar. Like talking to the Weather Underground.
Yeah.
He had another. Yeah. For people under 55 years old, they want to know what the hell anybody's talking about.
Terry didn't know either. He asked me, "What's the Weather Underground?" Yeah. And I said, "It's like the Baader Meinhof."
Did you know that?
Yes, he did. Yes. Well,
growing up in Europe.
Yeah. Well, that's it's the European version.
Look at that.
Ah, Michael.
Slovis.
Baader Meinhof was worse, right? No, whatever.
First DB Cooper, then Weather Underground. The kids are getting erections now, just thinking about that. Oh my God, I love these references.
We're going back to the Lindbergh cat kidnapping next. Yeah.
That's a Lindbergh, baby. I was kidnapped at 07:30.
We make ourselves happy, and that's all that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I love how there's like snot shining on his face. It's for real, probably, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lame-ass TV ads aside, your lawyer...
This is back yet again in our room that we have our production meetings in. Yeah. I got to tell you though, Michael, you do such a great job making this room. We've used this room a half dozen times in a half dozen episodes. You make
this
it look,
white cube here.
Okay.
Small white cube.
You do great though, man. You work it. You make it work. I don't know how you do it.
Can't thank you enough.
Let's start with a name.
We have to talk to you about your own real life property in Albuquerque that you've rented back to the studio for season 3. We won't get into the description of it, but it's all white, by the way. And Michael's not happy with it being all white.
I told them they could paint it, but they said, "No, we're shooting. I won't say what it's for or what the particulars are, but I have a condo in Albuquerque, and then we're using it as a location." And I told them they could paint it, but I think they ran out of time or money.
You
or something.
just wanted to do that so you can get money back for spending.
No, I don't get a dime.
You don't rent it back to
I'm
the.
not renting it.
Oh,
No, we use
you
sucker.
We used Holly, my girlfriend Holly, we used her Mercedes in your episode you directed.
Yeah.
We didn't get any money for that either. No, I'm like, I'm leaving it on the field, man.
Yeah,
I'm like taking one for the team every time I turn around in this mofo.
You should buy a movie studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the money I would have made off of this stuff, I could have. No, because we're just you can't tell it on the screen, thank goodness. But we are dying on this show every week and week in and week out because we're so ambitious. We have such a great crew. We have such great actors, such great directors. I love my writing staff, Peter and all the other writers. We're bleeding blood every week to make the show on the very limited budget we have as good as it can be. So you take them for the team every now and then. God knows I do the least bleeding. It's the crew is always working insane hours and giving their all, and it's just I'm so impressed with the work that gets done on an 8-day. Keep in mind, everybody, this is 8 days of 12-hour days. Which it's so little time. Yeah.
12-hour days is what we hope for, but quite often we go more than that. And every crew, even though the cast we may be wrapped after 12 hours, the crew still has to wrap up.
I worded the way I worded that. I want to be precise. I mean, it's very little time in which to make, a really with all the insanely ambitious locations we're always going to, and yet the crew is working their butts off because, as you said, they're getting there early, they're wrapping out later. It's just it's long grinding hours in bad weather and just moving from place to place like gypsies, and it's amazing. It's just a testament to the crew and to the cast and everybody making the show how wonderful it looks and how much I keep saying it looks like a movie. That's become kind of an old saw. I mean, there's a lot of bad looking movies. This thing looks like a brilliant Oscar winning movie week in and week out to my way of thinking. So just hats off to all you guys.
I love this.
All right, there's our boy.
I have to mention the piece of music here, which Thomas Gould, say his name for me, Vince.
Goljubich
found for us. It's Calexo, and for me the scene was always great, but when this music went up against it, suddenly this thing came alive, and it's.
It is, and I agree with you. Although I realize now I've been insanely remiss, and I want to say, and we're hearing very little of the music on this playback as we do these commentaries. So I'm not speaking as I should be to how wonderful our music composed for us for this show by Mr. Dave Porter is. He's a wonderful, extremely talented composer and musician, and he, of course, every week in and week out you hear the opening theme song for Breaking Bad composed by him. But music comes from two sources on this show. Dave Porter, who composes for us, who writes music specifically written for this show, and then Thomas G., who finds pre-existing music, and they work together very well. They've worked together for, I believe, many years previous to Breaking Bad. They work, hand in glove. These two guys work together, and Dave is such an artist, and Thomas G. has such wonderful taste, and the composed music written specifically for the show, and then the music found for us goes together so well that it's just I can't say enough about it. And I should have been speaking more about Dave Porter and the other three we did today, the other three of these commentaries. But he is a real talent. We're so lucky to have him. Used to work with Philip Glass, I believe, trained under him.
Okay, let's do this.
No, no. Oh my God, Jimmy's on the wrong bench. Crap. We're screwed. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?
And this is Bryan. This is Bryan driving the Aztec.
Well, they sped that up a bit.
Yes,
Not
much.
Not much.
And you see the back wheel lifts up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
that's some American craftsmanship
That's right.
right there.
That's right.
Keeping all four wheels in the ground. Why do you need four wheels in the ground at all times?
Oh, I just love this next beat.
But Jimmy In and Out, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful gentleman who sent us the sweetest letter after he'd played his part here. I like to bring him back because he was just such a nice guy.
He really is
Did a
very
great
sweet.
job. Very sweet man. And that is not his name. That's the character's name, Jimmy In and Out.
Aaron's body language. Here, and this.
Hank, I thought that
I love the way you guys play this scene.
We're working, okay? So you gotta get out of here.
I love how you get hurt here coming up.
Schrader. Something going down?
Wrong guy, other bench.
Doesn't that guy look like Mr. Drucker from
Green Acres?
Yes.
Move your ass now.
Okay, all right, listen.
He did a nice job.
Just go and leave you alone with it.
Just for it.
Should I back up or go forward? All right, forward is better. I'll be out of the way then.
And some of
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
I think we wrote about 48% of that. The rest of it was you guys improvising.
I know, some great improv there.
Yeah.
Got him.
I like how this was directed too, because
He immediately pops
in
up
and out goes up.
and assumes the position. Yeah.
But coming up is one of my favorite moments because
right.
is true. We have true improvisation here coming up. Right here, this shot.
Couldn't get the door open.
Yes.
This is not scripted. But you guys didn't break character. You just played it.
And you can hear off screen in the act before the sound work was done. The whole crew is breaking up, and you guys are
Nick and
staying
Andy are laughing,
right there
yeah.
with it.
And our wonderful post-production
really?
sound people had to very carefully snip out all the laughter, right, and cover it up.
Yeah, I did some ADR on that.
James Kilkelly. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice moment for Dean here.
Yeah. Thinking something's wrong.
Thank you.
I don't think he's buying it.
Yeah.
The mattress.
Yeah.
I enjoy the progress of Jesse's apartment through this season.
Slow but sure.
Yeah.
That's the kind of knock you want.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
I remember being single.
Sexy knock. The sexy knock. Nice. Yeah, look what she's wearing.
And she's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She's a cutie.
Kristen Ritter, I love you.
I remember having some minor meltdown saying, I wanted a king size. That's a queen size.
Did you really?
You're fired.
I think it might be the other way around.
Or was it?
Look at this move, though.
That is a king size, isn't it?
Look at
Now, this is smooth, man. This is smooth. Nicely done, Aaron.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is how you do it.
Boom.
That's all I'm told.
Good move.
Oh, here we go. It's so rare we get a happy
Now we've
ending.
got the teenage boys.
Yes.
Matt Feet, who's one of our prop guys.
Oh, that's
I
right.
love this. Not even close. I was.
That's you writing, right?
Yes, it is.
I taught at USC for quite a while, and I wanted to write that many times.
Is that
You dopey
yeah,
bastard.
not even a good try.
Stop spending your parents' money, you miserable.
Stop wasting your
Stop wasting your parents' money.
You mind?
This is another great set that we see less and less of as the series progresses. But this is a wonderful set built by our wonderful our wonderful construction coordinator and his crew, and designed by Rob King, and based on the real location in the pilot. That's the real real high school, and then from thence on, thus whenever forever after that, it was this set here, which was, and the art was really done by local Albuquerque students.
And in a moment, you'll see Terry and Mike use this art in a very interesting way on the shot of Walt coming up.
Oh yeah, right.
There's some very, very cool framing.
Bob's funny. I mean, not like your chop liver. I don't mean it like that.
No,
you guys are
it's
great
true.
together. You guys are great together.
All right.
Where do you keep the money? Is it in your mattress?
To me, one of the ththings that makes the scenes with Bob work is the reactions. In other words, he's so out there that it's really whoever it's your reactions, Bryan, that really sell this to me, because your character is so. This is desperately important.
Was that the finger on the painting?
Yeah,
pointing at Walt's head. Yeah, that's nice. Beautifully shot as always by Iron Mike Slovis.
Iron Mike.
Iron Mike. For introductions, who knows? I'll tell you one thing: you've got the right product. Anything that gets the DEA's panties in this big a bunch, you're onto something special. And I would like to be a small and silent.
I like how this purple in his tie matches with the purple in the painting there.
Not an accident.
No, there are very few. Well, there's accents and everything, but there's very few accents when it comes to color choices in this show. Between Mike and Kathleen DeToro and our production designer and Rob and
He's so perfect.
Oh,
very good.
What is Walt going to do?
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Nice.
Nicely done. Yeah.
Well done.
All right.
Hey, it's been fun.
It has been
Thanks
fun.
for joining us.
We did this out of order, so this is our last one, but this was fun.
And thank you again for buying the DVD.
Yes. Don't steal. Don't pirate.
Yeah, don't pirate.
Just buy.
Buy more.
Buy more.
Get us gifts.
They make wonderful stocking stuffers. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody, for
Thanks, everybody.
being a fan, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.